ever wanted to run Kubernetes commands using simple English? That's where everyone is heading to with the AI, right? Using the LLMs, using the plain English, which is the new programming language, you should be able to create and run commands on your cluster too. Well, that is now possible using the new open source tool by Google Cloud called the kubectl-ai. My name is Sam Pathak. You're watching Cube Simplify, and in this video, we'll be discussing about kubectl-ai, and we'll also talk if it's good, you should use it, or it's just another tool. So watch it till the end. kubectl-ai, it's a very new open source tool by Google, and it is used to interact with the Kubernetes cluster in plain English. It is kind of agentic in nature. It has approval workflow. It can execute steps autonomously, and it runs directly in your terminal and has a lot of model support. The default model is Gemini, but you can use OpenAI, you can use Grok, you can use Azure OpenAI, you can use Olama. So it has tons of support. And you can directly download it from the GitHub releases. And it also has a K8 bench where it has certain cool tasks where it tries to benchmark those tasks against a certain model. So it's pretty exciting, pretty cool, pretty interesting. So let's try it out in action right now. So this is the tool kubectl-ai, and you can download it directly from the releases page. The latest release by at the time of the recording is 009. And since I'm on Darwin, I have just clicked here and downloaded that. And then I have unzipped it and I have put that inside the user local bin. And also, one more thing that I have done is if it doesn't run in the first go on Mac, then you have to go to your privacy settings and just enable that. So that should work. Anyways, now I should be able to do kubectl-ai. It tells you all the commands it has, like you can pass on custom tools. So you can pass on your custom tool configurations. You can pass the config file. You can pass on the LLM provider. You can run it as an MCP server, and you can run it in quiet mode. Right now, it is failing in the interactive mode. So it has to go in the interactive mode after this particular command. But right now, it is not going because I haven't provided the Gemini API key or some sort of LLM provider. So right now, the LLM is not set, but that's fine. What we'll now do is I already have Olama installed. So let's do Olama list because we'll be using Olama. As soon as I do that, you can see over here, Olama is already started. So it probably would have started on a server. And I have a lot of models over here. But for our testing, we'll just go with Quen 2.5. I think that's reasonable enough. I already have my kubeconfig exported. So we will export the Olama host. So that's my Olama host, which is there. Now, in order to run, we run kubectl-ai, LLM provider Olama, and the model name. So let's try some stuff out, and then we'll see if we can do some useful interactions with kubectl-ai. So the first is, can you create a deployment in Nginx with 2 replicas in the default namespace? It asks me whether I want to proceed, and also says, don't ask me again, like it depends on you, what you want to do. So it says the deployment in Nginx has been successfully created in the default namespace. We can go back here, kubectl get pods, and we can see there are 2 pods which have started to run in the default namespace 11 seconds ago. Like pretty cool, pretty fancy. Let's try something more interesting. Can you list all the CRDs installed for Cert Manager? Oh, okay. So for this particular model, for this particular command, unfortunately, it is not giving here kubectl. It is not adding or appending kubectl over here, which is interesting. Maybe model to model dependent. But anyways, let's try out something else. Let's try out some actions from the tasks which are there on the repository itself. So Kate's bench and tasks, and let's see if we can create a horizontal pod autoscaler. That would be interesting. And also if we can create a network policy. Okay, these two sounds interesting. So first do the list setup. So the setup is creation of the namespaces, which we can do it here. 2 namespaces created. then run two pods, and then expose them as service. All right. So now let's try to create a network policy. Can you create a network policy named NP in the namespace NS1 that restricts the traffic from NS1 to NS2 and allows the traffic from NS2 to NS1? So let's create this. So this particular network policy is deployed, but there are some caveats I see over here, which is like this network policy is applied to all the pods in the namespace NS1. It's the policy type ingress, and ingress is allowed from the namespaces which has the label project NS2. So if the project NS2 label is not there on NS2, then the traffic won't be flowing from NS2 to NS1. But egress is allowed. So NS1 and egress is not affected. So NS1 to NS2 would work. So we can actually check that kubectl show labels, and you can see NS2 do not have that label, so it won't be allowed. So if I do NS2 to NS1, the ingress won't be allowed. And if I add the label kubectl label namespace NS2 project NS2, okay, project equal to NS2. And now if I try, that should work. And the one should anyways work because the egress was not affected because there was no policy type egress. The policy type is only ingress. Yes, it gave a very good and interesting policy, but I think we have to be very explicit in the terms of what we are asking. Anyways, so these are some of the tasks that can be done. So we have created a pod, I think. I don't know if we created a pod, but I think it should be pretty much easy because we created the deployment anyways. We can also create a pod demo in default namespace with pod with image and the next. And actually, these are more simpler to just write, kubectl run demo and --- image in the next. That is more easier than this. So pod should be there up and running 8 seconds ago. That is fine. So the simple tasks are fine. It is able to do the complex ones too. It is able to get, okay, we can also try. Can you get the image names for all the pods in default namespace? So for some reason, it has omitted kubectl over here. But yeah, for the event, it's where you need to get some of the JSON path kind of stuff. These would be actually useful, but for some reason it has omitted kubectl from here, and it hasn't given this. But if it would have given kubectl over here, then probably this would have been the output, which is pretty cool because now if you have something complex, some complex queries which uses JSON path and strings, this can be helpful, and you don't have to search the documentation and or the cheat sheet or wherever you go for finding out such stuff and getting the basic network policies and stuff. It might be model dependent, which is true. This is just locally running Olama. You can try it on Gemini and let me know all the queries that I ran, how it runs, or on OpenAI. I'll also run it and give you my comment within some time while uploading this video. But overall, I feel that kubectl-ai is good enough for beginners to get start learning who do not know about Kubernetes and who want to learn about Kubernetes. It can be a handheld tool for them to understand what Kubernetes is, to understand some of the failures, to try to troubleshoot. Make sure do not run this in production right now because this has a lot of permissions for your kubeconfig file and the cluster, so it can make or break the things. For seasoned professionals who already are kubesmart CK, CKAD, CK certified, I don't think it makes sense. It's easier to just go grab things or use canines and some of the very easier tooling which is already out there, Arcades, GPT, some of the existing toolings. I think with the agentic AI or the AI agents coming into this space, there are and there will be more AI stuff helping out in Kubernetes, observability, security, and so much more. And we are seeing already in the observability space a lot of LLMs and stuff going on. There are a lot of KubeCon talks around this as well that you can check. Overall, yes, a very good product, interesting for the beginner's perspective. kubectl AI. I would like to see how it matures over the period of time, and yes, overall how the agentic and the LLM ecosystem evolve. I think we'll get more and more complex stuff solved using these AI agents itself. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you feel about kubectl AI? Would you use it? Would you not use it? I would be interested to know. So make sure to like and comment, and see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.